Hello everybody and welcome to another video about the bounce back of MSTR stock. And I know there are some loud voices out there who would prefer pointing out that the stock is down and who want to see the stock down. And yesterday I made a video. I had screenshots, folks. There were screenshots. But were my screenshots at the moment I shot the video were clearly showing the bounce back. And so you can't argue with my screenshots when I make the video, right? If it changes in 3 hours, then, it changed. But at the time you make the video, you can't predict the future. Here's another truth. And, yes, the MSTR common is bouncing back right now as I speak, as I record. The screenshots don't lie. I'm sorry to bother people who really want the stock to go down, and I think I must attract a lot of shorts MSTR on this channel, perhaps MSTR shorts on this channel, but I'm sorry, I can't do any better. These are the screenshots of today. Today, IBIT, right? Bitcoin tracks Bitcoin today was up 0.35%. The Bitcoin had an okay day, a little recovery from yesterday, right? But not that much. Strategy, on the other hand, had a very nice recovery today. Strategy was up 2.3%. And I disagree with like zooming really closely, but in the situation where I'm trying to make a case to show you that we are loading a bounce back right now, this is what I'm seeing right now. It may be not true in a few days, but right now I'm seeing a bounce back. Right now, and this is the second time I see that strategy has at 7 times the daily performance of Bitcoin today. Strategy's performance was 7 times that of Bitcoin, not 1.5 times like we usually assume. And so as I look at the facts, in my view, the market is repricing the return of the ATM. The market is repricing the fact that achieving BTC guidance is now going to be possible thanks to the ATM. And we literally bottomed at the moment where Saylor said he was done with the ATM, and we've been bouncing back for a good 5, 6, maybe 7 days. 7 days. We've been bouncing back for about 7 days. Like it's not my fault. This is strategytracker.com. They track the mNAV. That's how they compute their mNAV. It doesn't really matter how you compute it. I'm sorry. Look at my arrow. Like we're clearly bouncing. Like we clearly bounce at a 1.5, and we're clearly going back up. And of course, on this channel, I don't do technical analysis, and frankly, I'm not even sure anybody does technical analysis on an mNAV chart. But if you look, mNAV has rebounded so many times in the life of MSTR. And usually these rebounds are like a month to a month and a half. And if there's euphoria, like there was from late September to late December, remember, these are the best time for the stock market. These are the best times for Bitcoin. There was mNAV expansion. Last September, it lasted almost 3 months, 2.5 months of mNAV expansion. So September is a rocky month. I don't know what's going to happen in September, but right now, all I can see is that we're seeing a little bounce in mNAV, and I am sorry about the facts of the moment I record this video. So the stock's bouncing back. I'm very happy about it. By the way, a lot of the other proxies are bouncing back. And of course, you can cherry pick maybe a proxy that trades into different, hours, different trading hours. Like MetaPlanet, for example, right now had a down day, but, it's really dependent on the Japanese market. If I look at many of the proxies that I follow, they are also bouncing back quite a bit, right? Up 3%. Mara up 2.8, let's say 2.9%. Riot as a mNAV of its own. Mara, to me, is a very interesting case because Mara has been trading at the 1 mNAV for a little while. And what I've noticed with Mara is that it bounces back. Mara's mNAV rarely gets below 1. And when it does, it's like 0.98 or 0.97, and it bounces back. And I think Mara is also in a stage where it bounces back, maybe to 1.1. Of course, the market is not nearly as bullish on Mara as it is on MSTR. The market is bullish on MSTR. That's why it's willing to grant it a 1.5, now going on to 1.6 mNAV. pricing in the fact that we may be reaching that long-term guidance, and we're in the cards now. This guidance was not in the cards when we didn't have the common ATM, and so the profs are slightly coming back. Slightly, right? About 3x the performance of Bitcoin today. That's also an anomaly. The profs are not supposed to do that. The profs are supposed to be, less of a Bitcoin volatility, less than the Bitcoin volatility. It's not the case. So there's a little bit of a bounce back. And I think the profs, one could look at them at a price to par. We need to see the price to par over time. What is the price to par of these profs? And over time, I believe they will go up. I want to point out, of course, that even Saylor appears to be flabbergasted by some of the yield of his equities. Like the fact that Stride is yielding 12.6% is out of this world. I mean, it's the yield that a bank gets giving a personal loan to some borrower with like a bunch of risk. That's literally the yield of Stride. And of course, I'm not a yield investor. I'm not a retiree. So for me, that's not interesting. The only preferred that I find interesting is Strike because of the call option on MSTR. That's the only one that I find interesting. But someone who's like yield hungry, like this is absolutely outstanding. And one last thing, and I know Saylor gets a lot of flack for touting the returns, but the returns that Saylor talks about, go on your own and calculate them independently. So he tweeted this today, right? 93%. So that's the top US public stock is the top. MSTR is the top out of 1,493%. That 93%, are you wondering if he made it up? You probably should not be wondering that. I use often on this channel tickertech.com. You can calculate your own the total return. And look, 92.77%. That's the average annual return of MSTR since they launched, since they adopted the Bitcoin strategy. Rounded up, that's a 93%. So he did achieve that, 93% over the past 5 years. And as far as I'm concerned, the only performance that matters is the long-term performance. MSTR started being the MSTR we know today in August of 2020. And this has been the long-term performance. 27 times your money, actually 28 if you round it up, 28 times your money. And if you don't believe what Saylor's chart is showing, if you don't believe MSTR, your own total return calculator, go, there's plenty of them online, go pick which one you believe, pick which one you prefer, and go calculate again. How about just looking at the chart? Right? Just looking at the chart. The stock was $14 in August of 2020. It's now $3.51. So again, this 28x return is once again a real thing. And the only thing, as far as I'm concerned, the only thing that matters is the long-term performance. And if we're going to zoom, and we're going to do short-term zoom, and we're going to argue in the comment section about short-term performance, today, MSTR has bounced back. Today, MSTR greatly outperformed Bitcoin. We're at 2.3% versus 0.35%, and I'm sorry about the numbers. This is the end of the closing day. So this is just how it works. It's bouncing back, and more of a bounce back is loading. At least I'm thinking the way the patterns have been in the past. We'll see how it develops in a couple days. Sorry for the lack of innovation in the video. I'm very, very busy this week. So anyways, I'll talk about other stocks soon. This was not investment advice, not financial advice. This is only entertainment. Hoping you were entertained. Please like, please subscribe, follow me on Patreon, follow me next. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.